Hello and welcome back. We are on lesson 160. This lesson says, I'm at home, fear is the stranger here. So, as we spoke about in all of the lessons before, it says, at your core, you are peace, you are love, you are light. And that is the very essence that we are created from. Anything outside of that, fear, anxiety, guilt, shame, is not your truth. It's a stranger, it's an imposter pretending to belong and to be who you really are. And so we've spent most of our lives identifying with those things, believing it's who we are. And that has made us feel like what home is. Right. And so, because of that, we then change who we are. We tiptoe around other people's emotions. We second guess our worth. We hold everything inside because we don't know how to express the truth of who we really are, because unconsciously deep down we know this is not who we really are, right? Until it gets to breaking point and it gets so much that we explode and it's like it has to change, then that becomes your wake up call, and you're realizing that all of these identities and aspects that you've created to protect yourself are not who you really are, and created when you didn't even need to protect yourself, right? We build armor around ourselves, shells around ourselves, and like we said in a previous lesson, that there's nothing out there that we need to protect ourselves from. Only the distortions, the mirage, the illusion that we keep falling into, that we keep biting the bait to. And so these lessons should be our anchor back into truth, realigning us back into who we really are, allowing us to detach from the mirage, the distortions that the ego has created to keep us safe. And as we've said before, this lesson is just a reminder again that your true home is within you. It's not in your relationship status. It's not in the money that you have in your bank account. It's not even in your past wounds, right? Because a lot of people do that. They keep bringing the past to the present, and that becomes their identity. Well, this happened to me then, so this is who I am. Or I had to be that way because of that, so now this is who I am, right? All things that we've held on to keep us safe, but it's actually the very thing that's keeping us away from the truth of who we really are. And so this lesson is inviting us to recognize that we'll never find, we'll never find um, peace and the feeling of safety in anything outside of ourselves. And a lot of people in the coaching industry will call this nervous system regulation, right? It's all about regulating your nervous system. Or you can recognize and detach from the stories that your mind keeps creating. And so it does feel uncomfortable. It does feel uncomfortable because we've spent our lives believing in things that are not true for us, right? We've made fear feel familiar when actually it's the imposter. So now coming home to ourselves and the truth of who we really are feels like an imposter. Isn't it wild? It feels like we're entering a backwards world, or like we're sort of living life backwards because we've believed this illusion for our whole lives, and now we're like waking up to the illusion, and it's almost like full circle. We're now going back to realizing who we were at the start. And so, you know, everything that we've said about peace, light, love, it feels foreign. It feels unfamiliar, but just because it feels foreign and just because it feels unfamiliar doesn't mean it's not true. I was saying this the other day. It's like, when you're younger and you're trying on all these different outfits and you try on high heels for your first time and you're trying to like walk in the shoes and it feels really uncomfortable, but you love it because it's like, it's like you're getting to try on an aspect of yourself and dress up and feel like someone you're not. Like we get to allow ourselves to, you know, release the illusions and distortions and step into the shoes of peace, love, and light until it feels natural again. And if it feels awkward and like you're dressing up, it might do, but that's because you've spent so long being someone you're not, right? So you just have to allow yourself with the uncomfortableness and allow whatever to arise to arise. This is why we're doing these lessons, to sort of like support you as these things arise, as we go deeper into the unfolding and the essence of who you really are. But you have to just be honest with yourself that it is going to be difficult for you, and it is going to feel unfamiliar because you've spent your whole life being someone that you're not really. Well, that doesn't really make sense. You spent your whole life being someone you're not.
Wonderful. Yeah. Um, my teacher has always said, and I use this saying a lot, it's always been it's always been a case of mistaken identity, self-realization, um, awakening, discovering truth, knowing your true nature. It's just a matter of mistaken identity, like Sammy's been talking about. That's all it is. It's realizing the truth of who you are, that you are home, that you never left home. There's nowhere to go, there's nowhere to ascend to, there's nowhere to transcend to. You are already home. The fear is the stranger. The false identity that Sammy mentioned that you're taking on, the ego is the stranger. So this is where I do like the analogies of like the Matrix and stuff like that um because I do see it kind of like this computer program, right? Like like we were having this human experience and it was always meant to just be this program. So imagine you like put on your little VR goggles, your virtual reality goggles, and you enter into this game. And in the game, and I always use like an animal or something just because like, it's something completely different than what we are. So it's like, let's say you go into this game and you're playing, and in the game, you're in the role of like a cat, right? You're in the role of like a cat or something like completely different from what you are, but let's just use a cat. And it's like, I know that I'm not actually a cat. I know that I'm not actually having these experiences. I know that like when I'm being chased by a dog in the video game, I'm not actually being chased by a dog. I know that if something were to happen to like my avatar in this video game, the cat avatar, to that body, it's not actually happening to me. It doesn't affect me whatsoever. I remain alive and well and just as I am. I know that I actually haven't left anywhere. I'm just having this like virtual reality experience. So now imagine that. Imagine we came into this human experience the exact same way. We're not actually human in human bodies. We're not actually um we're not actually, yeah, these limited individual humans. And we came in like the virtual reality and we were meant to just use the mental body, the emotional body, and the physical body as tools for playing this game, for interacting in this virtual reality world. But over, and this is, don't take this literally, it's just an analogy to make sense of like how this works, how yeah, how this works. Um, but then imagine that like the computers, like we've just been doing it so long and the computer system got so I want to say not intelligent, that's not the right word, but the computer system got so out of control that we started identifying as the character. We started identifying with the program, right? We start identifying with the program itself. So now we believe that we're actually this avatar. Now we believe that we're actually this character in the program. And things like fear are just aspects of the program to keep this false version of us. It's not even a real version, it's just an avatar alive when like a lion's chasing us, right? But it's not if the lion were to actually like get us or whatever, like it doesn't change who we are at our true nature because our true nature remains whole and perfect and eternal. And we are always home. So so fear is an aspect of this false identity that we've taken on, like Sammy said. That's how I see it. So it's kind of like this program that was just meant to be a tool in order to play this game got completely out of control and completely out of hand for so long. And again, don't take this literally. Again, it's just an analogy. All analogies fail at some point. Um, and now I'm going through this world believing I am Karina. And when somebody says, insults me, it's like, oh my gosh, and I take it all personally because I think I'm Karina. I think that I'm this like woman, Karina, wandering through this world that I think is real because I can touch, taste, smell, feel it. And then, or somebody kicks me in the shin and ow, of course it hurts. I take it personally because I think it's real. Or when a big payment comes through that I wasn't expecting, fear arises because I think but it's all fake. It's all false, based on false identity. Fear is the stranger here. We were never meant to identify with the ego. The avatar was always just a tool, and you always have remained home. You always have remained whole. You always have remained perfect. Your true nature, as Sammy already mentioned, is peace and not fear. The reason fear feels like something you don't want to experience, the reason it feels so foreign, the reason it feels not right is because it is foreign, because it is a stranger, because it isn't aligned with truth. You are created in love, you are love, and anything unlike love is not a part of who and what you are, truly. It's a mirage. So then, okay, so I'm going to go off on a little tangent. So, because this is the part that I know can be kind of confusing because I faced this as well when I was like learning about this stuff. Kind of like, well, but I thought it's all part of the whole. I thought it's all part of one. Yes, it is. But you can think of it like light and dark. Dark doesn't actually exist on its own. It's just the perceived absence of light, right? So, so fear isn't real on its own. It's just a perceived and illusionary perception of the absence of love. So it's not that like there's a thing that is you and then there's a thing that is not you. It's all you, but it's just a false perception of the absence of something that doesn't actually exist. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. So, and if you have any questions, just ask. Yeah. So when fear arises, it's just a sign. It's just a sign that you're believing a lie about yourself. It's just a sign that you've gone back into the mistaken identity. It's just a sign that you've forgotten that you were already home, that you are already whole, that you are already perfect, that you are already one with God. Again, you are not a body, so nothing real can threaten you. You will only accept fear when you forget who you are. And recognizing that you are at home in God restores peace instantly. Fear disappears when you refuse to identify with it. And I guarantee that that's true because that's how I handle fear every time it arises. I stop identifying with it. I don't consent to the identification with it, and then it dissipates. Sometimes quicker than other times, but it dissipates, it disappears. So the way that you practice this is in the morning and evening, spend about 5 to 10 to 15 minutes and begin with I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. Let that idea sink in. Fear is not you. You are love. Let the memory, and it's an internal memory, not a thought memory, of your true home arise in quiet peace. And hourly, remind yourself, I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. And as needed, when fear or anxiety arises, gently respond. Fear is the stranger here. I am at home in God.
You're like, that's all dunk. Drop the mic. I was getting chills when you said I'm home now. And this is the thing, like the ego, the mind, whatever, just wants to strive, right? We're always chasing something, always. But there's this visual that I've seen online with the person on the treadmill chasing the dangling either phone or money or carrot, whatever. Um, and it's true. Like just that's it. You don't need to go anywhere to have access to everything, right? That feeling, the feeling that you are looking for and chasing and the things that you're chasing, you can feel right now without even the thing, right? Um, yeah, thank you so much for all of that, Karina, as always. And we will see you tomorrow for lesson 161, I think. See you all tomorrow. Bye.